Take one. This is the second of a series of generosity sermons that I've been preaching. And this one is based on John chapter 6. It's that miracle story that is found in all four Gospels, the feeding of the 5,000. But before we get to the text, I ask you this question. Are you a soup spoon Christian? Or are you a ladle Christian? If you are a soup spoon Christian, you're one that is seeking to be fed. One that is seeking to get the nourishment that you long for. However, a ladle Christian is one that wants to serve others, wants to make sure that they can be fed. So I ask you, if you take everything that you have that is worth sharing, what do? Do you keep it for yourself, or do you give it away? It's a challenging dilemma when you consider that. I know in my own house, where I've made several moves, that there are some things that I've held on to from move after move after move. I've never used it again, but there's something in me that just doesn't want to give it away. And that's probably because in that situation, just like with many of us, we get too preoccupied with our earthly existence and our stuff. So I ask you, in the realm of being part of the church, and whether you be in our location here at All Saints Lutheran Church in Blairsville, Georgia, or wherever you might be attending church, why are you here? Why are you there for worship? Why are you there in that specific congregation? Why are you here? And that's where we get to the story of the feeding of the 5,000. You might be those people who were seated on the grass. They were there to be part of the congregation. And in our model of the church, it's a membership model. And as one credit card company said many years ago, membership has its privileges. You might say membership has its benefits. And how do we do that in the church? Well, especially as we try to draw in new members, we sell them on the virtues of our congregation. The facilities, the programs, the people. And they hear all these wonderful stories about what we're doing in ministry, what we're doing with bringing people together, how we are having these nice fellowship groupings. It's about those programs and the facilities and the people. And somehow we draw them in because what they hear is that you're meeting my needs. And you're meeting my needs with little or no cost to me. Well, just like the people on the grass in the feeding of the 5,000, you can be satisfied as long as your bellies are full. And that's why Jesus wanted to run off, because he knew that they would make him a bread king. Somebody that would fill their needs and their wants and their desires. Well, that seems awfully selfish, so I'd rather be one of the disciples maybe. But the problem with the disciples isn't with their question. They sort of wanted to know, how can I help? And oh yeah, you hear that around the church a lot. How can I help? But the thing with the disciples is, in the asking of the question, they also provided their own answer with their doubts and their questions that, can it really be done? And so we, in this how can I help, we sort of modify it a little bit, because we will offer the help as long as we can control some of the thinking, some of the planning, and some of the execution of these things that we can help with. And in our minds, we offer whatever we want. And we do whatever we can as long as it is reasonable and within certain limits. And so, as soon as things start rubbing a little wrong, we're ready with an excuse. We're ready with an excuse that the expectations didn't quite meet up to what we had hoped it would be. Or we might give an excuse of our own limitations. I can't really do this because I don't have the time, I don't have the ability. Or we might give the excuse that, you know what, Pastor, this is just impossible. Why are you even considering doing this? And so when we fall into those traps of either being people on the lawn, on the grass, or being the disciples who question and doubt, it's an insufficient response to Jesus. And it's really an inadequate understanding of who Jesus is, that he is the Christ and what he can do. Indeed, we see the gracious gifts that he offers to us, especially the gifts that he offers to us in worship. But in our own minds, we want the results to fit our assumptions. We want the results to serve our goals and our end means. And what we do is we force Jesus and his gifts to fit into our mold of how he should act and how he should be moving our ministry. And so, soup spoon, ladle, or something else. Now that's the first take.